Welcome to Metricon Stadium, round number 10 in the Smithies VFL, and it is the Gold Coast Suns taking on the Box Hill Hawks. I'm Peter Mercado. Great to be with you for this one. Sunny conditions on the Gold Coast, and as the Indigenous round continues, the Mungrook rounds, a presentation happening in the middle of the grounds. It's great to see. Both of these teams sitting at 4 and 3 on the ladder outside the 8 at this stage. Box Hill in 11th, Gold Coast in 13th spots. And taking a look at the lineups, the emergencies for Hawthorn tonight in their match against Gold Coast in Darwin. Finn McGuinness and Josh Morris not in the lineup here today. Kyle Hartigan is here. James Warple is here as well, as is Jackson Callow. And for the Gold Coast Suns, James Cheetah's not in the lineup today. He's presumably a travelling emergency. Charlie Constable not playing as well, but Elijah Hollins is in the lineup. Sam Day not here either. So 3 held over for the Gold Coast Suns, remembering their game being played at TIO Stadium this evening. But free entry for spectators here at Metricon this afternoon. Great conditions for footy, about 24 degrees on the Gold Coast. And we're looking forward to what's going to be a very, very interesting contest. The captain is back for Box Hill, Hugh Beasley, into the lineup today. And we're about ready to get this one started. It's the Gold Coast Suns and the Box Hill Hawks. Round 10 of the Smithies VFL. And the umpire holds the ball aloft. And Ned Moyle getting the first touch for the Suns. They can work it into the middle of the ground. Flanders taken off the footy. They've still got the numbers though. Burgess just shot that ball out. And the umpire will come in and intervene. A bye last week for Box Hill. Gold Coast winners last week away to Footscray. And here's David Brinker Ritchie, who going short. Oh, this is going to be turnover. So Jack Bowes has it. Gosh, they've got a fair lineup in today, the Suns. Alex Sexton, Braden Fiorini coming back to this level, and he's got the footy now. He's just going to drive it long and high, and they're going to have the first shot at goal too. And this will be the ideal start for the Gold Coast Suns. And Chris Burgess, the player to take the kick. So chance at the first, and he's got it. And Suns with the early stages of this one. As I said, good conditions on the Gold Coast today, not too hot. And all the rain that we've seen in the lead up all over the past couple of months in Queensland, not a problem today. We might get just maybe a quick shower a little bit later on, but it's not going to be a problem for these teams. Back in the middle we go. Boyle and Brinker Ritchie. Clearing kick by Warple. He goes long for the Hawks. Deep ball inside 50. Oh, that's a superb mark to Callow. Stuck the mitts up and managed to take a strong mark. And so, Jackson Callow. Chance at the first for the Hawks, and he's got it. They get to him as well. His 7th goal of the season. And we're all tied up early stage of this one. A couple of 23rd players in the lineup today. Max Hall for the Box Hill Hawks and Jared Eckersley for the Gold Coast Suns. Max Hall, number 61 for the Box Hill Hawks this afternoon. So a goal apiece, early stage of this one. Moyle getting the job done against Brinker Ritchie. Bowes just trying to get that footy out. And now inside 50 we go again. High ball, getting hands to it was Conroy. It's right near the line. And Kyle Hartigan will be happy to see that ball out. Both of these teams, whoever can get the win, be in touching distance of the top 8. At round's end, as Fiorini goes around the body, and I reckon he's kicked it. It's a goal fest early on here at Metricon Stadium. And Braden Fiorini gets it done for the Gold Coast Suns. So a fast start here for both teams. And pretty free flowing in the early stages of this one. So the ball back in the middle. Here is Brinker Ritchie just trying to clear the area. As this kick goes inside 50. Almost the mark there to Green. Now I've got the numbers. Here's Kavara. Around the body. Another one. Goal for goal here at Metricon Stadium. And back to scores being level. And you get a good shot there of the Indigenous Guernsey that the Box Hill Hawks are wearing this afternoon. Designed by Corey Thorpe and pays respects to the Wurundjeri people in the area around Box Hill. And announcing that yesterday. So great to see that Indigenous rounds last week and this week, and some fantastic Guernseys. They're magnificent from the Box Hill Hawks. And don't forget the Gold Coast Suns wearing an Indigenous Guernsey as well. Trying to shoot that handball out is Ed Phillips. No one can get clear. This ball should be held up. Parsons going nowhere. And the umpire will come and intervene. Get this ball moving quickly. It's end-to-end stuff. It's a goal fest. Warple trying to get involved in the action. Suns looking to send it up towards the 50. Big pack of players around this footy. Sarong trying to get that ball out, but they have got some run here. The Hawks. This should be mopped up, and it will be. Heading outside 50 again. Sexton got hands to it. Here's Parsons. The kick inside 50. They should be able to get something going. No, Fiorini just hacks a ball to nowhere in particular. It's forward to Mercedes. He goes with a long ball. He scored a goal too. Or is it going to be a push out? No, it's a push out. Umpire getting in very, very quickly there. So the Suns should be able to clear. Up the line goes the Suns. Atkins into the middle of the ground. Dangerous, but works out okay. And Fiorini again. Across the ground. Bit of a task for Little. Here's McLennan. Jez McLennan kicks up the line. Fiorini again. No-look handball into the path of Flanders. Worked it back out. Here's Hollins, Elijah Hollins. Going into the middle. Here's a 23rd player, Eckersley. Inside 50, off hands. Sexton's forced to lay the tackle. Ball into the path again of Parsons, who can stream off half back. The kick to the one-on-one, keeping his feet nicely is Green. He's off to the races. Look at that. No one in front of him. Keep going. Get to the top of the goal square and make sure of the goal. Fergus Green with his first of the afternoon. And we've got 5 on the board already here in this opening quarter. And we've gone 10 minutes, almost 10 minutes in the opening term. We've got 5 already. Well, Metricon Stadium looking magnificent this afternoon. In racing terms, it'd be a fast track. So back in the middle, the goal fest here. 5 on the board already. We're not even 10 minutes in. Fiorini just shoots that handball out to the path of Stone, who was pushed off the footy. Bowes managed to pick it up, though, and the Suns away. The ball dribbling up towards half forward. Mitchell getting hands to it. Brought down the tackle was Saunders. Picked up here by Corbett. That's Marlon Corbett for the Gold Coast Suns, and there's a hole in the footy decision. It's going to be a free kick going to the Hawks, and there's a Suns player down just near the boundary line. Fiorini need to get that handball across, and they do now. Into the pocket. Yes, nicely done, Sexton. We'll have the shot at goal. Are we at the player to get that ball in? On the Gold Coast rookie list from Papua New Guinea, number 47. Called to play on, Sexton, and he kicks the goal. So 3 goals apiece in this opening term. We're not even midway through. Fair to say, it is one hell of an attacking game right now. So back in the middle, scores level, 3 straight apiece. Good contest, this one, free flowing, fair to say. Brinker Ritchie and Moyle. Ball released again. It's Stone sending it inside 50. I can take clean possession. Getting there, Phillips just overran the footy. Got some teammates around though. Here's O'Hara. Worked across as the Hawks look to build off half back. Kick up the line is a good one. Here's Max Hall, the 23rd player, working with Gary Ayres at Montrose. Been rewarded for some great performances. Here's Saunders, whose kick inside 50. No one can take the mark. Good tackling, pressure again from the Hawks. Brady Gray just locking up Jez McLennan. Rinka Ritchie. But the Suns should be able to clear. This ball going wide in the path of Mac Andrew. He's in a bit of trouble though. Does it stay in? It does. The boundary umpire is going to be unsighted here. The ball will be tossed in. And Phillips did really well. Both players actually to keep that ball in. So they should be able to clear. Fiorini's ball up towards centre wing. Been chopped off. Here's Max Walton. One of those younger Box Hill players. Finds Cunico. Not sure which way to go. He's going to go short. There's not a lot on offer. Deeper. Called to play on was Phillips. Top of the goal square. Ball falls to the back. Going to be clean here, the Suns. Oh, great spin was Fogo. But he's turned the footy over, and here's another one. It's a goal fest, and it's Green again. He's got his second. And neither team can miss. 4 goals playing 3 midway through this opening term. So, pulsating stuff here at Metricon Stadium. Between these two sides. And neither side can miss. So, 4 goals, plays 3. Sunny day at Metricon Stadium. As this ball is cleared again. Hawks looking to push forward. Trying to get there. Hollins did well. Andrew just dribbling a footy. May have turned it over again. He has. Again, they've got to be clean. There's too many great forwards for the Hawks. Oh, it's going to be turned over again. Here's Phillips. They can make you pay if you make a mistake. Well, that ball ended up with Andrew. Hollins. Just trying to clear the area. It's only temporary. Callow. Right at centre half forward. What's going to be here? It's a high shot. It's going to be a free kick going the way of Cody Harrington of the Suns. And he goes across the ground, and that's okay. Eckersley. Oh, sold his teammate in all sorts of trouble. Fogo had no idea. Well, I think he's a little fortunate there. Anyway, all's well that ends well. Hollins has actually turned the footy over. So it's in the path of Kavara. Goes with a long ball. Top of the goal square. Should be a mark. Not paid. Off the pack. Another one. Saunders this time kicks the goal. Five goals on the board for Box Hill. 5 straight, if you don't mind. Yeah, it was just weighted numbers there for Box Hill. And so, the goal fest continuing. 8 goals already. We're not even into time on in this opening term. And we'll redo that bounce here at Metricon Stadium. Hawks looking for their third win in a row, just to build some nice momentum heading into the mid part of the season. As we'll have this ball tossed in. The Suns last week, very impressive in their win at VU Whitten Oval against Footscray. All tapped down by Porter. This ball heading up towards centre wing. It'll be a bit of a foot race, and they come from both directions. Andrew picked up the footy. There's a holding free kick. It'll go the way of the Suns. Foggo. And his kick up the line. Almost the mark. No, not paid. Off hands. Flanders. Heading in the wrong direction for goal anyway. I don't think it'd be a brave umpire to give that deliberate out of bounds. So this ball to be thrown in as we pushing towards time on in this opening term. We already got the ball out. Flanders, top of the goal square. No mark paid. Moyle down to Fiorini. Bounces the wrong way, and Mercedes just killing off the contest. First behind of the afternoon. Took 20 minutes. Goes the way of the Suns. Plenty of purchase on that kick from Mercedes, and it was pinpoint. Finds Callow. His kick further afield. Well, was okay. It's going to be a free kick anyway to the Hawks. Saunders was just caught up there, taken a little high. He did have the numbers. So in some respects, it wasn't a bad free kick to give away if you're a Gold Coast Suns player. So again, the Suns will look to clear. Kick across the ground. He's looking like the boundary line is going to win out here because no one's actually going for the footy. Oh, Burgess just left it for his teammate. Lucky a pitch just inside the boundary there. Off hands, Beasley. Into the middle of the ground. Walton. They get some overlap run happening. Porter. Oh, they've got the numbers. They're lining up here. And they have all the time in the world. Sarong is the player. And he's missed. Back out to 2 goals into time on in this opening term. Andrew's kick finds Rory Atkins. And he'll go wider. Well, almost a one-handed take to Cunico. Porter. Phillips. Hawks looking to drive it long inside 50. Saunders was the player at the back. He may end up with a footy here. They all overrun it. Saunders, there he is. Held up by Brown of the Suns. And it will be a holding the footy result. So the kick goes long. It's good. Moyle gets that handball off. Now kick towards half forward. Fiorini caught at the back. In fact, it was Sexton as the kick goes for the Hawks. They're going to go forward again. And just got controlling things in the midfield at the moment. Maybe a little bit of a push out from Sarong. This is a ball that's dribbling towards the posts. It's a frenetic pace at the moment. Both sides. The Sun's going to use the corridor. Harrington, handball out. Here's Stone. Here's also Warple. Warple did well just to be a nuisance. As Atkins send the Suns inside 50 into the pockets. And Burgess will give off to his teammates. And Alex Sexton will have another shot at goal. Very, very makeable for Alex Sexton. Oh, yeah, Braden Fiorini's having a hell of a game so far. He's up to 11 disposals already. But in comes Alex Sexton, and this is holding its line nicely. And they get to him as well, and fair enough. His 8th goal of season 2022 at this level. And he's 2nd of the afternoon. Fergus Green with 2 for the Box Hill Hawks. And an entertaining opening quarter continues here in the Smithies VFL this afternoon. Well, we got the opportunity around the grounds. It was a good win for Southport today over the Brisbane Lions. Very comfortable win in the end. And heading towards half-time. In fact, it is half-time at Williamstown Oval. 9-1-55 Footscray, leading the Seagulls 5-3-33. The Bulldogs falling to the Suns last week. So away we go again in the middle. Here's Warple just shooting that handball out. Hawks looking to go forward. Andrew just slapping that ball out of trouble, but only temporarily. And this will be behind the footy free kick. Atkins. Kick short. It's okay. Hollins will go wider. Now, this kick is going to be the crucial one. Can they find a player in space? It's a hell of a mark. Conroy's going to kick high. Right to the top of the goal square. Off hands. I think it's another one. It absolutely is another one. Extraordinary. Goals aplenty. And Burgess to the player. In fact, it's Flanders who's kicked it. My mistake. Flanders who's got his first of the afternoon. And it breaks the margin. 1 point heading towards quarter time here at Metricon Stadium this afternoon. See the good shot there of the Indigenous Guernsey that's being worn by the Gold Coast Suns this afternoon. Indigenous rounds continuing last week and this week in the Smithies VFL, mirroring that of the AFL. A big game coming up at TIO Stadium between these two sides in the AFL this evening. But I tell you what, if we see this sort of free-flowing scoring in the AFL tonight, is going to be one hell of a clash because this one's building up nicely. Moyle gets over the top and the receive as well. Follows up his good work by putting it inside 50, but turns it over. Mason DeWitt. Now, is he going to go up the line? He does. I think Andrew getting hands to it for the Suns. Saunders at the bottom of the pack. No one going anywhere. The ball's eventually released. Andrew again. Sorry, Andrew again. Back Andrew's got it. And now he'll get the free kick. Is there a chance for one more? There should be. There's been plenty of goals in this quarter, so it should be a reasonably long one. Walton. Ball spills free. Downey. Puts it into the path of Saunders, who's off to the races. Has a bounce. There's two. Could probably have had a third one too. Instead, he decides to just spear it into the pocket, into the Kavara direction. He created the contest. Brock there for the Suns. Handball by Eckersley, not finding its target. This one off hands. It should go through for a rush behind, and does. It's in the margin. 2 points. As the kick goes outside the 50, but it's going to be turned over again. James Blank. Short to Warple. His first game at Box Hill level for a number of years. And his kick's superb. Tall target. Fergus Green. And he'll go back to have a crack at goal number 3. Going for goal number 22 on the season. Goal number 3 today. And he stabs it home. Third goal for Fergus Green. The 6th goal for the Box Hill Hawks in this quarter. And the margin is 8 points heading towards quarter time. He's a good player, Fergus Green. Real focal point for the Box Hill Hawks this season. I mentioned Warple, James Warple, coming back to the lineup here for the Box Hill Hawks. First time since 2018 that he's played for Box Hill. Welcome addition to this side. Trying to get in there was Porter. Couldn't do so now. Here is Warple. It was 360. Just losing a handle on it was Walton. No one able to break clear. Suns finally get their hands on the footy. McPherson will take a free kick. As the kick inside 50. Cleared by DeWitt, but it may only be temporary relief because here's Little, Bryn Little. Oh, there's a cluster of players here. He's going to be able to take the mark. Moyle got hands to it, straight down to Sexton, and he kicks the goal. Excellent work from the big man. And Alex Sexton is saying, rightio, Fergus Green, you get it done at your end, I'm going to get it done at mine. His 3rd goal of the afternoon. And the goal fest continues here at Metricon Stadium. Well, it's impressive stuff from both teams in this opening term. I imagine both coaches, Jackson Kornberg and Clint Proctor, will be having a word to their teams about how they tighten up defensively. The Gold Coast Suns they're a high-scoring team in this competition. They get another clearance for them. They work their way inside 50 again. Time for one more? Of course there is. Here's Harrington. And he's going just left. They started the season on a great note. They demolished the Northern Bull Ants by 55 points in the opening round. They kicked 131 points there. Then 103 in round 2, their win over Sydney. 100 points in their loss to Sandringham in round 4. They've had some high scores. Meanwhile, a free kick here for the Box Hill Hawks. Middle of the ground, or half-back I should say, is Mitchell. Hardigan. Just going by a short kick. Mitchell. And now they get some run. Kavara. Kick up towards half forward is good. And now it's Parsons into the pocket. Missed the targets. Now Box Hill Hawks can put on a score too. They kicked 23-18, 156 in round 7 against the Bombers. They demolished the Bombers that day. They followed it up with 15-16, 106 in their win over Richmond. High-scoring teams both, and we're seeing it on display here. Fiorini just second of the ball, and that ends an entertaining opening quarter of football. 12 goals in that quarter, and in the end, it is a one-point ball game. 6-3-39 Box Hill, the Suns 6-2-38. Whole host of goal kickers as well. But for the Box Hill Hawks, 3 to Fergus Green and singles to Saunders, Callow and Cavara. And for the Gold Coast Suns, 3 to Alex Sexton and singles to Fiorini, Flanders and Burgess. In terms of the stats to quarter time, Braden Fiorini leading all comers with 11 and a goal. Cunico and Parsons with 8 apiece. And Warple and Flanders with 7 each. The inside 50 counts off the scale, 19-14 in favour of Box Hill. And the Suns leading the hitouts 13-5. We'll take a short break. We'll catch our breath. An exhilarating opening quarter of football. Back with the second quarter real soon here on afl.com.au and the AFL app. This is the Smithies VFL for 2022. So away we go in the second quarter. A 1-point ball game in favour of the Box Hill Hawks. 12 goals in that quarter. And we got more of the same coming up. Brigarici getting the tap, but straight down to Bose, whose kick is going to be cut off. There's Mitchell deciding which way he wants to go. Decides to go to the outer side of Metricon Stadium. So the kick going long from Downey. Andrew picked it up, but he's been dispossessed, and Hawks are away again. Half volley style Kavara, he just slipped at the crucial moment and was wrapped up by Brown. And holding the ball as the results. So he had that opportunity, but just wished he didn't slip over. Wide kick is okay. And the Suns will look to build. This long ball is okay. Flirting with the boundary line. Alex Sexton's on the end of it. 3 goals in the opening term. Beasley came out to meet the footy. This one high. Is it going to stay in? It does. Almost the mark to Warple. As Flanders was taken over. We'll have it tossed in. So we'll have this ball tossed in. Here's Warple. Will just see this footy over. He's pushed over by Hollands. We will have it tossed back in. As Bose again, just putting it right to the top of the goal square. Strong mark by Hartigan. Right on the last line of defence for the Hawks. And they look to get things moving for Box Hill. All going absolutely nowhere. It's almost a tunnel kind of situation. Atkins. He's trying to find a path through now, having to lay the tackle. And it's going to be a Box Hill free kick. As slowly Walton gets to his feet. Let's kick up the line. Just worried off the footy there, that Suns player, and Callo's taken over the boundary, not liking that attention he's receiving. And there's just a bit of push and shove going on. The end result will be a throw-in. Right here on centre wing, Metricon Stadium. Aducci goes on the left, inside 50. 1-on-1, Andrew stands up. Nice mark. Over Kavara. His kick wide is okay. Finds Lockett. So Jai Lockett will go to centre half forward. Mark needed to be taken by Moyle, but was it a chopping of the arms? It might have been. And he will take the free kick. Right to the top of the goal square, and they've got the mark. Well, they've got some presence down there, some of these Suns forwards, and Chris Burgess is one of those. Kicked a goal in the opening term. And a chance at the first score of the second quarter. And makes no mistake. So, second goal for Burgess. And the Suns are back in front. 5 minutes into this second quarter here at Metricon this afternoon. So, back in the middle. And Bose will take the free kick from the ruck contest. It's inside 50 again, and a strong mark again to Burgess. Clunked a couple in a row. A chance to join the players with 3 goals in the game already. So the margin 5 before this kick has now become 11. Burgess with his 3rd of the afternoon. The Suns, well, they're kicking clear. So back in the middle. That's the Suns with the early advantage in this second term. And they might have another chance here. Around the body goes Flanders. Oh, big fly at the back from, I think it was Conroy there. Way too early. Not sure how realistic that attempt was. But anyway, the Hawks with a chance to steady. Again, temporarily. Just got to be clean here. Not able to be just yet. Porter in amongst the chain of handballs there for the Hawks. And here's Andrew. Just gets away from Warple. But he's turned the footy over to Mercedes. He's going straight up the line. Found a player in space. And the kick inside 50 should be turned over. It's not. And that's going to be a tripping free kick. Probably professional in the end, but Fergus Green had it. And it was probably the only way they were going to stop him kicking his 4th. So Fergus Green, 3 in the opening term, chance to add to that tally. And he misses. So 10-point ball game, 10 minutes into the second term. Entertaining contests as McLennan to bring the ball back into play for the Suns. High ball and Moyle's taken the mark. Just hurls it onto the boot. Interesting technique and out of bounds on the full, the result. And this is one of the things about a big stadium. You have to go and get the footy yourself. There's no one out on that side. We have a slight delay as we wait for this footy to be brought back in. Ed Phillips doing the legwork there. Inside 50 we go. Aaron can take clean possession. Bo's just trying to go off the ground. Hall slipping the handball out. And they'll go back inside 50. So working at the back there, trying to make a nuisance of himself as Green. Here's Parsons, around one, can steady, have a shot, and put it across the face. So Andrew to bring the ball back in for the Suns. Long kick. Trying to work his way through was Flanders. And he's going to turn the footy over. In the end, it was a touch footy. And now in the middle of the ground. The tap on not quite there for the Suns. But they're still second, third, fourth efforts. Fantastic. And now they get the ball up to half forward. But again, it's been turned over. And Hardigan's got it. Now Walton will go backwards. Potentially dangerous. Rossetti does well, and here's O'Hara. Oh, this is dangerous again for the Hawks. They're just not able to find a link in the chain. And they could be made to pay here because the Suns are on the charge. This ball right on the boundary line. Just popped up across the face of goal. That's great. Great understanding. And the Suns, well, making the Hawks pay. As Flanders will line up and have the shot at goal. He's a chance at his second. Going to try and go around the body here to extend the margin. Call to play on. Can he wheel it around? Oh, yeah, he can. No problem at all. Second of the afternoon. And the Suns extending their margin. So the margin is 15 points in favour of the Suns. Come out firing another 3 goals in this quarter. 3 goals to none to start it off, and Bose is going to send them back inside 50. Tall targets again, but McPherson, the shorter target. This ball heading towards the pocket, and Harrington couldn't keep it in. Fiorini, 14 disposals so far for the Suns. Flanders with 12. Ball here, well done Brock, just to keep his feet. His teammate came through and spoiled him, it was Brown. Now Andrew throws the handball out. Corbett. They're having to go backwards here, they're under pressure, the Suns. Can they get through it? They can. Stone. Wheels around, not the greatest of kicks. McPherson just trying to trap it on the half volley. The kick smothered again. But picking it up is Corbett. Just pushed off his kick at the right time. Warple. And they've got it going now. Masiti. Short ball. Kavara. They've got links in the chain all over the place. They just need to be careful. And now inside 50 they go. Great delivery of the footy. And it's green again. And again, a chance at goal number 4. Midway through this second term. And his kick misses again. A couple of misses in a row for Green in this quarter. The margin 14. There's a little chipping kick. Won't find the target. And the Hawks with an opportunity again. Callow. Handball over the top. They've got runners. Hall dribbling ball inside 50. Saunders was dispossessed. Hall's gone back in to get it. Was he taken high? He was. He'll get the free kick. So Max Hall, the 23rd player for Box Hill this afternoon. A chance at his first. And that's gone across the face. He's snuck it in for a behind. So a bit of a stalemate after what we've seen in the opening term. Almost as if there was a goal every 2 minutes. There almost was. So it's McLennan doing the running. Now that not hitting the target. And the end result, we'll see the ball thrown in. As this ball turned over in the middle of the ground, now a chance. Inside 50 they go, it's going to be turned over. Porter meeting it. And they'll work it to the broadcast side. Missing the initial target, and now the Suns with an opportunity just to get things going. McPherson dribbling a ball inside. A dangerous position, but didn't hit the target. Porter, he'll go short. Finds Kavara, who can run on. Getting some good run going. And his kick up towards half forward is good as well. And they can continue the charge. This ball going in short. It's going to be turned over. Well, they've had some opportunities here, the Hawks, in this second term. The kick across the ground, McPherson for the Suns. He gets the handball receive. Now runs into the tackle that might have been a little high. And the other game underway at the moment, it's Footscray, 94-41, heading towards three-quarter time there. Here's Stone for the Suns. To Brown, who's turned the footy over. Downey swoops on it. Now, can the Hawks make them pay? Almost the mark one-handed to Callow. Here's Kavara. Just going to dribble it home. He's not. Another behind to the total. 2-goal ball game. Andrew wants to get things going. And he does. Finds Moyle. Up the line. Lockett. Oh, it's got a free player over the top here. Here's Flanders, short ball inside 50. It's going to be a free kick to Sexton. And so Alex Sexton with a chance at his 4th goal of the afternoon. He runs around and he didn't hit that properly. So it's going across the face of goal. The ball's still alive though. Burgess, handball out. They work it nicely, the Suns. They just need a mark now. They won't get it. They won't get it. Falls to Bose. Who's the player who's going to take the kick? It's ball heading up towards, or heading towards the goal square, but it's going to be punched across the ground for a throw-in. Well, it was just a matter of who was going to pull the trigger there for the Suns. As we're into time on now in this second quarter. Whistle. Free kicks from the trailing umpire, I suspect. And it's going to be a Suns free kick. It will go the way of Moyle. Now, I'd suggest it'd be way too far out to score, but he's going to go back and have the shot. Or at least put it long. That's what he's going to do. Top of the goal square. 3 Hawks around this footy. Downey to run onto it. Just trying to get as much territory as possible, because this is what's going to happen. The ball's coming straight back in. 1-on-1 on top of the goal square. It ends up with Warple. Working out the best option and finding it. It's nicely done. Green. Trying to go up the line. 2-on-1 in favour of the Suns. But the boundary line wins out. And Sandy Brock just seeing it over. So we'll have this ball tossed in. Two-goal game in favour of the Suns. Bose just hacking it forward. Burgess. Eventually get it clear. McPherson towards half forward. Ball almost got out. This is great work from the Box Hill defence, just having to clear there under all sorts of pressure, and they refuse to concede. In the middle of the ground, they try and get something going. Warple again, gets around one, around a couple, sends Box Hill inside 50, 2-on-1 in favour of the Suns, and it's Corbett getting back to take the mark. Across the ground, the kick is okay. Harrington works it to Bose. We've got some run over the top. Bose has to get it back again. He just threw the handball out more in hope than anything else at centre half forward. And that's going to be holding the footy. Advantage should be paid. It will be. McPherson to the goal square. Tapping it through. Mercedes, good experience on the goal line. Margin 11. So Mercedes sending that ball out wide, and the Hawks will build again, or attempt to anyway. So here's Phillips. Ball inside 50, another 2-on-1 in favour of the Suns. Falls to Brown, but he's turned over the footy. And they can get some run going again. Phillips. Short ball is going to be cut off. Eckersley takes the mark. 23rd play for the Suns today. It's Jared Eckersley. And the short kick is okay. So they can build something again here, the Suns. Into the middle of the ground. Lockett. He's got Fiorini going past. Not the best of deliveries. Moyle. Ball to the top of the goal square. Almost the mark. Hardigan did just enough against Burgess there. Suns would love another one just before half-time. Now how dangerous this Box Hill side can be. And another stoppage here. Ball spills 3. Hollands going across the face of goal. Walton under pressure. Working hard here is Harrington. Just slipped the handball out to no one in particular. He's under pressure. This ball right near the line. It might be a goal. No, just missed narrow. The Suns now leading by 14. In towards half-time. One of 3 games played today in the Smithies VFL. Andrew with the tap down, straight down as well, but only as far as Warple. Max Hall clearing the area. Andrew's made up some ground, but here's Green over the top. They've got the free player. Aducci can go with the handball. He will go with the handball. The kick is a goal. So Gray's kicked it. An important goal for Box Hill. That is their first of the second quarter. Kicking 6 in the opening term. And Brady Gray finally getting one on the board for the Hawks in this second. Three-quarter time in the other game at Williamstown Oval. The other game in the Smithies VFL play today. It's underway. 16-4-100, the Bulldogs. Williamstown 6-5-41. Jamara Ugle-Hagan with 5 goals for Footscray. Here at Metricon, it's an 8-point lead to the home side, the Gold Coast Suns. Rinka Ritchie getting the tap down, and the Hawks back inside 50. Andrew just held his kick. Kavara was there attempting the smother. Stone just hurls it onto the boot. Again, it's Hawks at the fall of the footy. Tackling pressure by Flanders there just to retrieve that ball. Fiorini throws it on the boot. It might actually work out for them. McPherson missed the handball, had to go back in and get it. His kick up the line is okay. Burgess wrapped up in the tackle, still got the handball away. Harrington, high ball to the one-on-one, and it's a push out. It's going to be a free kick going the way of the Hawks. To Blank. The Hawks. Downey will work the outer side now. Box Hill. Sarong. Cross there to Kavara. Morrish medalist Ben Kavara. His kick there, trying to find Green. They're pushing towards the line. Where has that footy gone? It will be a free kick, a push out, and it'll go the way of the Hawks. Just trying to find where that footy actually was. And Fergus Green, chance to bring this margin back to 2 points. Tight angle, but he could wheel across here. On the half. Oh, now this is interesting. Can he run around? I think he can run around here. Or does he have to? Yeah, so he can only run to that spot. Let's see. What can Green do? He's brought it back nicely for a goal. Right on the half-time siren. Goal number 4 for Fergus Green. And the margin for the Gold Coast, they lead by 2 points at half-time. 9 goals for 58 to Box Hill. 88-56. The margin was just 1 point at quarter time. Now 2 points at half-time. The goal kickers for the Suns. 3 goals to Alex Sexton and Chris Burgess, and 2 to Sam Flanders, and 1 to Braden Fiorini. And for the Hawks, 4 to Fergus Green, and singles to Saunders, Callow, Kavara and grey. A 1-point lead to Box Hill has become a 2-point lead to the Gold Coast Suns at half-time. Leading disposal winner on the ground, Braden Fiorini with 19 for the Suns. Sam Flanders with 16 for the Gold Coast Suns and 15 for McPherson, 14 for Bowes. The leading disposal winner on the ground for Box Hill is Cunico and Warple, both with 13 apiece. Some of the team stats to half-time. And in terms of the inside 50s, 33 to 29 in favour of the Box Hill Hawks. Hit-out count 21 to 10 in favour of the Gold Coast Suns, and they're leading the clearance count 19-16 as well. And 23 tackles to 21 in favour of the home side. A tight contest, an entertaining one. It's half-time, 9-4-58 leads 8-8-56. The Suns by 2. Back with the second half very, very soon right here on afl.com.au and the AFL app. So we're getting ready for a start in the second half. A 2-point lead to the Gold Coast Suns over the Box Hill Hawks here at Metricon Stadium. Lights on. Sunshine fading into the distance. I'm Peter Mercado. Great to be with you for this second half. It's been an interesting contest between these two sides. Both on the same amounts of wins. They're both 4 and 3 on the season. Huge second half coming up. So I think all is in readiness. The umpire should hold the ball aloft and we'll get this second half underway. David Brinker-Ritchie for Box Hill against Ned Moyle of the Suns. Moyle getting the tap down. Went straight through Bowes. Trying to kick it off the ground was Parsons. Here's Fiorini. So work it out. McLennan. Gold Coast with the first clean disposal. Blank trying to get hands to it. McLennan. Getting the kick through hands. Moyle will just set it running again. As this ball, to the top of the goal square. Flying high was Conroy. Still a dangerous ball here. Hartigan. And it's through for one behind. I think Burgess was just trying to claim the goal there. Mitchell to bring the ball back into play for Box Hill. Short ball finds the skipper, Hugh Beasley, back in the lineup today. After a hammy issue, it's kept him on the sidelines for a little while. Moyle had to go in and get that footy. And it's a tough footy to win. And does it against Brinker-Ritchie. This ball going nowhere in a hurry. Umpire waits a long time to call holding the footy. But Jack Bowes was wrapped up. He had plenty of time. As Mercedes will go long for Box Hill. Send them inside 50. Andrew just thumping that ball away. But here's Warple. Thought about giving the handball off. Instead decided to go with a short kick. He kicked it to the player in front of him. Goodness, as McLennan will go wide. And this is going to find the boundary line as Burgess was coming in. We will have it tossed in. There would have been a fair argument to say he was not intending for that ball to go out. So we'll have it thrown in. Well, with the front position, because the Hawks again just looking to the ball inside 50. Andrew, the first to arrive for the Suns. Goes with that high ball, but it's another uncontested mark. Aducci gets it across to Mitchell. And Mitchell will go long. And they do get the mark in the end. And it's Jackson Callow. Kicked a goal in the opening quarter. And a chance now to put Box Hill back in front. Being brought around on the right angle. Now, is he going to... Yep, he's going to try and curve the ball around. Away he goes. He brings it back beautifully. No problem at all there. Callow with his second. And Box Hill back in front by 3 points. Early in this third term. And a nice kick. I see that all the time now, that round the corner. Callow up to 10 disposals, around his average for the season so far of 11. 7 goals coming into this one. And importantly, puts the Box Hill Hawks back in front. Big game to come tonight in the AFL between these two sides, or Hawthorn and the Gold Coast. The Sir Doug Nicholls rounds continue. Fiorini shot the handball out. Handball received from Moyle. Back to Fiorini. And this ball splitting the pack. Sexton right near the boundary line will see it over. They want to hit back quickly, the Suns. There's Alex Sexton with 3 goals so far today. Chris Burgess also with 3 for the Gold Coast. The ball tapped down beautifully. This one right to the top of the square. It's into the post. So Mercedes to bring the ball back in. Long career at VFL level. Port Melbourne here at Box Hill now. There's Guevara. Does really well. Back to Saunders. The kick going up the line. Sarong came out to meet it. Out of the path here of Green. Parsons just getting it forward. Here's Hall. Gets through the traffic. They worked this out beautifully. Green has plenty of options. Picks the right one. It's Connor Downey. And so Connor Downey with a chance to extend the margin for the Hawks now. Hasn't kicked a goal yet today. He's about to rectify that, you would feel, from this distance. Yep, no problem at all there. So Downey with his first. Second goal for the Hawks in this quarter. And as is tradition, he'll go off and have a spell. That means that Ed Phillips will come back out onto the grounds. So the margin 8 now in favour of the Hawks. So how will the Suns respond now to this challenge from the Hawks? They've got the momentum. Box Hill in this third term. Ball into the path of both. Did really well in the end as they work it inside 50. Sexton just held off the footy. Now DeWitt will clear it. Well, temporarily as this ball heads for the boundary line. Sparse crowd at Metricon Stadium. Only the one gate open to get into the ground, but free entry for anyone who was around. It was part of a double header. There was a game played on the oval just outside Metricon a little bit earlier between Southport and Brisbane. Oh, grabbed it out of the ruck. High ball inside the 50. It's just bobbling around. Conroy. Here's McPherson. He's off target. Beasley to bring the ball back into play. Spent some time on Richmond's VFL list. Cunico. Masiti. And they've got it out nicely. O'Hara. He's got a runner in Saunders. Off he goes. Just the one bounce up centre wing. Up towards half forward. Trying to get there is Green. Warple. Now Parsons. Spearing ball inside 50. I can take the mark. Guevara there again. He's just rolled into that tackle. And the umpire says, give it to me. And there's going to be a holding the ball free kick. And it will go the way of the Hawks, and it will go to that man, Max Hall. So the 23rd player, Max Hall. From Montrose, and he's on the board here at VFL level. And they get to him as well. Great to see. And a great moment for the youngster. Up to 16 disposals for the game. His first goal at VFL level. A great moment for him. The Hawks now with goal number 11 of the game, leading this one by 13. So back in the middle, Box Hill with the running in this third term. Warple just trying to extract the footy. Good job. Work there with Cunico. Stone wrapped up in the tackle. And the umpire will come in and intervene here. They work the ball out now to this broadcast side, up towards half forward. Haven't really had too many opportunities inside 50 in the quarter. Bose is trying to rectify that. That is a holding free kick. And Beasley going down there. Don't think he was going to go, the umpire was going to go with him on that. But Jai Lockett, fair surname you want having a shot for goal. And Jai will kick from just on the 50. Chance at the first in this third quarter for the Suns. Gives it absolutely everything, but to the left. Even 2-goal ball game now here at Metricon. Working our way to the midpoint of this second quarter. CD will find some space and go long. In fact, no, he's going to chip the ball over the top. Hardigan. Well, looking one way, looking the other. And this time we'll kick. Well, it was a one-on-one contest, and Andrew probably could have taken the mark in the end there, because he had it all to himself. Instead, decided to go with the fist over the boundary. And we've got to get this footy back. I think that's part of the problem. So Warple's going to be the player to go and retrieve the footy. He's on a bit of a search. Here we go. Usually okay at the suburban grounds because there's not big grandstands like they have here at Metricon Stadium. And he's just going to find a way through the fence. Well done. Make sure that's closed properly. We can get our play back underway. Brinkarici, good tap down, but only as far as Flanders, who just pulled his kick at the last second, wanted to drop it in short, and DeVitt was there to pick it up. And that's a good punch that's come in there. The fist, very important from Little. And where was he going after that? Well, the umpire says he was sort of pushed as he kicked, so we'll have it thrown in. Well, this is going to get nowhere near the ruck contest. So McPherson just working it around the body. Phillips just clearing the area and finds a teammate. Nicely done to Walton. Youngster, but played a couple of games already for the Box Hill Hawks. He goes back inside defensive 50. Masiti, DeWitts. Just try and thread the needle. Parsons swooping onto it. Should get the handball receive and does. Keep going. Parsons, an open goal square. This just needs to bounce through. He has. James Parsons from downtown gets it done for the Hawks. His first of the afternoon. And they are taking control, the Box Hill Hawks. So James Parsons with his first goal for today. They've got 8 different goal kickers so far in the game, the Box Hill Hawks. And Parsons, that was one of the better ones you'll see this afternoon. So the Suns now need an urgent response because the momentum is all with the Hawks here at Metricon Stadium. Hall trying to get that ball out. A whistle, free kick will go the way of that player. The Hawks by 3 goals. Hall's kick going wide. Mark Endor free kick. So Andrews getting on the end of this. Now, how will they work this one out? Elijah Hollins caught in 2 minds. And that kick's a good one. End up finding Conroy, Harrington. Now they've got some dash. The kick going long and high. Almost the mark, not just on the fingertips. And they might be made to pay here. No, it's turned over. Fiorini to swoop onto it. Has he got enough of it? No. And he marked right on the goal line. And Masidi just making sure there was someone on the goal line for the Hawks for that particular reason, as Gray will kick in the middle of the ground. Working here, Green was dispossessed, holding the footy, the results. Or incorrect disposal, and it'll be a Suns free kick. But that's actually worked out okay for the Hawks because they can get numbers back now with this long delay. And this is the problem. So when you have such a long delay and you can allow the defenders to get back, there ain't a lot of space inside 50. So Fiorini will be forced wide. Well, there's a Box Hill player in the hole, but there's going to be a free kick going the way of the Suns, and it'll go to Alex Sexton. Chance at number 4, and an important one right now in the context of this game. He'll go around the corner as well. And he's got it. Alex Sexton with goal number 4. And that's the first of the third quarter for the Gold Coast Suns, coming almost 17 and a half minutes into the third term. And brings the margin back to 2 goals. So I've seen from basically quarter time, teams going on runs of goals. We'll see if it's going to swing back the other way and go towards the Gold Coast this time. So timely goal for the Suns. Heading towards time on in this third quarter. Brinker Ritchie was held up. Holding the footy, the result. Conroy to take the free kick for the Suns. And they've got some overlap run. The kick up towards centre half forward should be cut off. Nice mark by Mitchell for the Suns. We'll go shorts and should be able to work their way through this. Cunico. He now looks up and doesn't see much on offer. So the best option is long. Going one hand in the end there was Brock. Trying to bring it to ground. Nice extraction from Bowes. Bowes has the ball here. And there's going to be a free kick coming back. Final score at Williamstown Oval today, by the way, 19-7, 121 Footscray to the Seagulls, 8-7-55. Jamara Ugle-Hagan with 6 goals in that game. And this is the final game for the Saturday of round number 10 in the Smithies VFL. As O'Hara looks to go short, is going to have that ball cut off. So Sandy Brock will go back to Andrew. He just wants to chip a ball, but it's going to go too far. But through the hands of Downey, he's now wrapped up in the tackle. So Foggo did well there just to hold up the player. As O'Hara works it out. Mitchell into the pockets. Sarong just trying to get a bit of space on Andrew, and it goes over. McAndrew with 15 disposals for this afternoon. Into time on. Is there a push outs? Callow is trying to plead his case. Umpire having none of it. Foggo will take the free kick and go up the line, but it's going to be turned over again. DeWitt swoops on the footy. Will send it straight back from where it came. And there's the mark to Callow. Well, it worked out in the end. It just took a little longer to get there. So Callow with a couple of goals today. Margin 2 goals before this kick. Let's see what he can do here to extend the margin again. That didn't look like it off the boots. Rory Atkins to bring the ball back into play for the Gold Coast. I just want to build a little momentum going into three-quarter time because it's been very much the Hawks' quarter. It's been a tight contest throughout. Had a goal fest in the opening term. And 12 goals kicked, 6 each for the teams. Ducci, Warple. I'll work it out here, Phillips. Needs to be clean. They're just tapping the ball on, just to try and get it moving, and eventually it's turned over. I might get some run going here, although there's not a lot up ahead for the Suns. It's now the kick going deep to the one-on-one. Well, that was the only contest really inside 50. The kick had to be precise. It certainly was. And I mentioned the forward targets that they've got here. Andrew Burgess is certainly one of the, as Chris Burgess, I should say, is certainly one of those. And a chance for his fourth the afternoon. And they bring the margin back to 7 points. And he's got it. Goal in the opening quarter, 2 in the second, now 1 in the third. And it keeps the Gold Coast Suns ticking over. Margin back to 7 points. 24 minutes into this third quarter. We now have 3 players on the ground who have kicked 4 goals. Burgess and Sexton for the Suns have 4, and Fergus Green has 4 for the Box Hill Hawks. There's been some sort of display. I mentioned a win for these teams will take them to 20 points, and Box Hill will have enough percentage to get inside the top 8 tonight. It may only be temporary. They're within striking distance for the Suns. Win today, they'll be just outside, you would feel. Through the hands of Warple, doing well there, Hollands, just to get that ball moving. McPherson, quick kick off the ground now for the Suns, going inside. 50 is going to be marked nicely by Hardigan, who was just held up by Burgess. That's that little second longer. Hardigan will run off the mark and kick to the one-on-one. Getting up nice and high was Brock there, and we'll have it tossed in. There's Ned Moyle getting himself back into position. 204 centimetres. Looks like he's going up against 194 centimetre Callow, who ended up getting the footy in the end too. Immediately dispossessed. McPherson. Kick needs to be precise and is rolling off his Flanders. Now they get some overlap run. Fiorini tied on the boundary line. He's going to have a shot but go across the face and hit the behind post. So free kick for the Hawks. Kicked the 4 goals in this quarter. 4 goals won for the Hawks. The Suns have kicked 2 goals 4. I'd love another one before 3/4 time. And we got a grandstand finish coming up. Naducci getting the handball across. Here's Phillips. Now they've got the loose play up. They've actually got a string of them. Gray, high ball towards the top of the goal square. It just needs to sit here for Sarong. Oh, he did really well to keep that ball in. And now it eventually goes out. And he just kind of really scooped that ball up, did Sarong. Give his side a chance. We're still in good position here, the Box Hill Hawks. This ball's tossed back in as a whistle immediately. And it's going to be a free kick going to the Hawks. It's been picked out by the umpire, and Jackson Callow, clearly from the ruck contest, will have the shot at goal. So a chance at his 3rd. The shadows of 3/4 time. And he makes no mistake. 2 in this quarter, 3 overall for Callow. Margin back out to 13. As we're not too far away from 3/4 time at Metricon Stadium. Round 10 of the Smithies VFL. Important game, as mentioned, for both teams, but the Box Hill Hawks in particular, having come off the bye. Next week they've got North Melbourne at Arden Street. Then they face Port Melbourne at home in round number 12. And then the bye again in round 13. So good little period coming up for the Hawks if they're able to get the win tonight. As it is a 666 warning. Suns next week have a trip back to Melbourne to take on Collingwood. An interesting game coming up. As Moyles kick up towards half forward. Phillips looks to go inboard. Dangerous because there's numbers here for the Suns if they can get it clear. They're just hacking it towards half forward. Masiti comes in. He was taken high. And he'll take the free kick. Almost 30 minutes gone here. Andrew again going with the big fist, or attempting to anyway. Moyle on his bike. Brinker Ritchie hot on his hammer. And I think he's put that ball out on the full. He has. So it'll be David Brinker Ritchie to bring the ball back into play. And is it 50? No. Or is it throw-in? Okay, so one of the other umpires came in and suggested a throw-in. No, it's going to be, after all of that, we'll work out who's going to take the free kick. It's Aducci who's got it in the end. We got there. Kick is long. Moyle just trying to get that handball out. It's in the path of Brown, who's taken over the line. And we'll have it tossed back in. Just a hack out of midair, hoping that someone's on the end of it. Well, there is. It's not a Suns player, though. Blank has got it. He's going to go inside 50. Fans here, Gray, going around the body towards the top of the goal square. Trail the bounce favour. It's McPherson who just clears the area. But it's only as far as Saunders. He's going to send it straight back. Top of the goal square again. McLennan. He's got a bit of time. He steadies himself. He kicks up towards centre half back. And they've got some run now, the Suns. If they can get this kick, they can be accurate. They can't. Actually, a couple of Suns ran into each other in the end. Mercedes, safe hands. Gets the ball back to Mitchell. They will slow things down here. They're in no rush, the Box Hill Hawks. Mercedes. And that's nicely done. The quarter belonging to the Box Hill Hawks, and at the turn, three-quarter time, they lead 13-9-87 to the Gold Coast Suns 11-8-74. So the margin is 13 in favour of the Hawks at three-quarter time, after the Gold Coast led by 2 at half-time, and Box Hill leading by 1 at quarter time. 5 goals won in that quarter to 3 goals 4. And they're looking pretty good, but it's an interesting final quarter coming up. The goal kickers to three-quarter time. Fergus Green has 4, Jackson Callow has 3, and singles the rest. Downey, Saunders, Kavara, Hall, Gray and Parsons. And for the Gold Coast Suns, 4 goals to Chris Burgess and Alex Sexton, and 2 goals to Sam Flanders, and a single for Braden Fiorini. The stats, the leading stat winner on the ground to three-quarter time is still Braden Fiorini with 27. Jack Bowes with 23, Darcy McPherson with 22, and Sam Flanders with 21. So 4 Gold Coast players, in fact 22 now for McPherson. 4 Gold Coast players leading the way disposals-wise for the for Box Hill, Mercedes and Warple with 18 apiece, Cunico with 16. In terms of the team stats to three-quarter time, as we'll have a quick look at some of the inside 50s stats for three-quarter time. And there's very much inside 50s that has been led by the Box Hill Hawks. Not by much, 47 plays 41, hitouts 27-17 in favour of the Gold Coast Suns. So a big final quarter to come. Stick with us. It's going to be an interesting finish from here at Metricon. The final quarter coming up next, live on afl.com.au and via the AFL app. This is the Smithies VFL for 2022. So set for a start in this final quarter. 13-point lead to the Box Hill Hawks. Been a close contest, an entertaining contest all the way through. Let's see what the final quarter has in store for us. Although throw in, Brinker Ritchie getting the tap down. Fiorini going around the body. Sun's looking to clear. Bowes just over around the footy. Cunico. Now a chance for Mercedes to go around the body. Working up the line. Trying to find some space was Hollands. And he'll get a free kick. Go short. Atkins. Bowes. Atkins again. Up towards centre half forward. This is where they're falling down. Hartigan. Another defensive mark. He's getting the job done. And they're getting some run through the middle of the ground too. As a long ball to a one-on-one contest. Trying to run onto it. Green. They've got numbers there. It's a dribbling ball from Callow. And he's got the goal. And he joins the list of players with 4 goals this afternoon. So a minute in, and the Hawks lead by 19 points. Now, Jackson Keller having some sort of game this afternoon for the Box Hill Hawks. And that's the perfect start. In the twilight here at Metricon Stadium. Been a beautiful day. Well, here's Fiorini again. Trying to make something happen. Atkins. Long ball inside 50. Need to make the most of every opportunity in this final term. Warple. Phillips. Just pushed off his kick. Here's the player they call Ace. Just getting himself involved. And again, second and third effort's crucial. But it's still a Box Hill ball. They try and paddle it forward. Callow again at the bottom of the pack. Going nowhere, and he's going to be holding the ball. So Brock just holding him up. The 245's going at it. And here's Andrew with plenty of space to pick up the footy. Plenty of time to work out which way to go. And plenty of teammates to come towards him. One of those is Hollands. Elijah just forced to slow things down. Because the kick is going to be to a pack of players. Beasley working there with Conroy. I think Conroy might have gotten his back. He did. So a free kick going the way of the Hawks. Backwards is the best option. Mercedes will reset. Cunico. Thinking about going back that way. Instead, just decides to kick up the line. That's a good mark from the 23rd player, Maxwell. Been impressive on debut for Box Hill tonight. His kick's going to be turned over, though. And here's Brock. Let's try and get something going for the Suns. Try and build some sort of momentum. That's not going to do it, though. Even though Mercedes dropped what he really should have taken in the end. Harrington, 360, managing to get it out. Burgess, instead of going for goal, decided to kick across the face to a 2-on-1 in favour of the Hawks in the end. And they will win out. Beasley needs to be careful. They've got to be clean here, the Hawks, and they just might. They've got the numbers to be able to clear. Zavit's kick is okay. And here's Cunico again to Hardigan. And they've got the overlap. Phillips. Called to play on. Over the top's Kavara. Wants to keep going, ran into a brick wall. They beat the first tackle, struggled with the second, still got the ball away. Brinker Ritchie managed to get that handball out. Cunico in trouble. Second and third efforts there. Everyone getting around to Suns player. And I think it'll be crucial. Well, this kick, where is this going? High up and under sort of style. Let's see if they can make something happen here, the Suns. It's right near the boundary line, though. It will go over. Hugh Beasley, skip it back into the side this week. Fiorini back across to Flanders. And this time they find a target towards the 50. It's Burgess. 4 goals tonight. The kicks, again, not favouring the forwards inside 50. And Saunders takes the mark. So Saunders, Andrew, you'd expect will go the fist from that position. Sarong trying to get that footy away. Andrew slowing the handball out, but here's Warple wrapped up in the Bowes tackle. And now O'Hara works into the middle of the ground. And they're out here, the Hawks. Here's Phillips. Plenty of players in space. Running all the way down, here's Kavara. And they were just stretched too far there, the Gold Coast Suns. And Benny Kavara kicked a goal in the opening term. Chance to bring the margin to 25 points. He'll wheel around and finish it off. So Kavara gets his second. And the Hawks are getting it done nicely now. 25 points, game high lead. 7 minutes into the final quarter. It's going to be hard for the Suns to get back now. Turnovers so costly to them today. So back in the middle, 25-point margin for the Hawks. Moyle getting the tap down, but here's Phillips again. Just lost a handle on it. McPherson for the Suns. Inside 50 we go. The fist coming in from Sarong. They're going to go straight back in again. They just haven't been able to take enough marks inside 50. Here's Sexton trying to get something going to Flanders. Right near the boundary line. Will it stay in? It does. And one behind the results. So an even 4-goal game now. Beasley to bring the ball back into play. Just trying to go as far as he can. Bowes. Well, this beats the initial pack. It's actually advantageous for the Suns there. Stevens. Ball back here for Sexton. Now, right near the boundary line. Ball to the line, and it's through for a behind. Well, they're peppering the goals. But not getting the ultimate results. 23 points now, the margin. The City to bring the ball back into play. Here's a push-out free kick. It'll go the way of the Hawks. Here's Jackson Callow. 4 goals today. Wants to favour the broadcast side. Andrew, good mark in the end. Oops, and they're going to turn the footy over. Straight back to Callow it goes. As it goes near the boundary line. It's probably a good result in the end for the Suns. Well, if they get the next one, they're certainly within striking distance. Hacked forward by McPherson. Or just pinballing around. It's in the middle of the ground. It's a contest that needs to be won by the Suns. It won't be. And here's what's happened. Gray wrapped up in the tackle. Still got the kick away. Warple to kick this ball, which will just pitch inside the boundary line. And it'll end up being deliberate out of bounds. Maybe a little bit rough on James Warple there. Stone. 3 Box Hill players in the mix there. This ball right near the line will go over. Minutes gone in this final term and time ticking down. Suns need the next one. You think if the Hawks get the next one, that it's game over. Trying to paddle in front of him is Corbett. Cunico. Valuable disposals in this final term. That's a touch ball. Blank, round 1 and round 2 did well. Was a little bit too easy there. 2-on-1 in favour of the Suns. Stevens was pushed in the back. I think Kavara knew it. Just a little bit too crude, so Kavara will now have to do the chasing. I'm not sure where they're going here, the Suns. Little pushes the ball out wide. Ball up the line. Is it going to be paid a mark to Moyle? It's not. The end result will be the ball thrown up. So Box Hill by 23 points. So another touch ball here. It's Cunico getting that ball away. A wide open 50. Stevens. Oh, he went without it in the end. And the whistle. Gray got the kick away. Is it a Gold Coast free kick? Looks like it's going to head to Ned Stevens. Interesting that no 50 was paid there. Umpire suggesting that the player didn't hear the call or know which direction it was going in. Downey was coming out to meet the footy. Gray, handball over the top. I've turned the footy over, but hasn't been clean going forward for the Gold Coast Suns in this second half. Stone. Assesses. And just go for distance. 2-on-2 inside 50. Conroy. Managed to get this ball out. Fiorini will take time to assess. He's going to go low because it's an open goal square and he puts it through. His second of the afternoon. It keeps the Suns in the contest. Margin back to 17 midway through this final term. So it's the one back that they needed, the Suns, but they need a couple more. So important centre bounce here for the Suns. Conroy pretty much had it all to himself, to Bowes, and they get the clearance. They'll be desperate to keep this ball in play. It's going to drift out, though. McPherson was charging after it. Had plenty of space, too, but did pitch inside the boundary line to pick it up. Braden Fiorini, the previous goal kicker and disposal winner on the ground, he has 33. As again, he goes to the line. So midway through this final term, the goal to the Suns, and things start to get interesting. As Gray's high up and under. Moyle just decided to go with the fists, but there's a free kick will go to Kavara. Just checks his kick, works back with Parsons. Kavara goes wide, not quite hitting the target. In the end, Hall's gotten onto it. Handball across the wrong. They've got overlap here. High ball from Downey. He's kicked the goal. Connor Downey with his second of the afternoon. And that should pretty much kill off the contest, you would think. .5 into the final quarter. And the Hawks, well, every time they've been challenged in this second half, they're getting it done. So back out to 23 points, over 100 again for the Box Hill Hawks. And they are looking like winners at the moment. You mentioned a win tonight would take them to 20 points and put them inside the top 8. Of course, a whole host of teams with matches to come tomorrow. The ball back in the middle, and will we do a take two? I think so. So the matches tomorrow, Essendon taking on Coburg at Windy Hill. At Avalon Airport Oval, Collingwood travelling to take on Werribee. Geelong taking on the Giants at GMHBA Stadium. The Bull Ants and Carlton. As Cunico taken off the ball. Frankston and Casey, the other games, and Sandringham, North Melbourne for round number 10, with Port Melbourne having the bye. Kicking in danger, I think, might be the results here. A free kick going the Suns' way. And it's going to go to Marlon Corbett. So margin 23, heading towards time on in this final quarter. Marlon Corbett would want to get a little bit of a move on here. And he's got it. Corbett with his first. Margin back to 17. Goal for goal. Here in this final term at Metricon Stadium. But for the Gold Coast, they need a couple in a row. So lights completely taking over now here at Metricon Stadium tonight. Hawks with the advantage by 17. Heading to time on in this final term. Well, it's been an entertaining contest. We had 12 goals to start off the game in the opening quarter. It's been very entertaining since then. Now it's not really favouring anyone in particular. Bowes will just send the Suns inside 50. Waiting for the ball is Harrington. We'll just go with a high ball. one for the high flyers. Andrews down there for the Suns. He's playing forward, and this will be thrown in. Need the next one, but need it quickly. And they might just get it. Ball right near the boundary line. Bo's going across the face. And we'll have it tossed in. Burgess trying to crash the pack. And a couple of targets down here. Burgess has 4 goals. Sexton has 4 goals. Fiorini and Flanders with 2 each. And they need to score quickly. 3 goals will win it for the Suns. The Hawks will just want to make sure of it with 1 more. Rossetti goes around the body. Just cleared the area. That's a bit high. That free given away by Corbett on Kavara. Short player, Kavara, so you need to go low. Here's O'Hara. I just want to slow things down, you feel. With the kick going long. And they'll get some space here, the Suns. Need to be clean from here, and they're not. Oh, wow, Moyles just comes straight onto the ground. That was clever in the end. And found a space inside 50. Hardigan has got DeVitt running alongside. He needs to be clean. Sexton bearing down on him. He can't bend over to pick up the footy. Now he's got some teammates here, Porter. They'll work it out. Hardigan. And the free player is Saunders. Need to take that mark. It is dewy conditions here at Metricon. Hard to pick up the footy. Walton did well. Takes the mark. Here's O'Hara. The kick will beat the pack. Flanders needs to be careful and is. McPherson. Across the ground we go. This is potentially dangerous because Downey got there first. It's now Little having to lay the tackle and eventually will spill free. Will it? Does he drag it back in, Downey? Umpire let it go. Hollins clears the area. It's got to stay in, and it will in the end. That actually worked out okay for the Suns, even though Burgess fumbled. I'll have it tossed in. Pretty sure the umpire would have given away the free kick for deliberate out of bounds. With every passing minute, the Hawks will breathe a sigh of relief because the 17-point margin is getting it done right now. Well, completely beat the ruck contest this time. Saunders to get onto it, takes the mark. In for the mark inside 50. No one could take it. Plenty of numbers for the Hawks. They dive in. Stevens doesn't want to give the free kick away. A lot of hailing of taxis, mainly from Callow, even though the ball had passed him by that stage. A stalemate is called. One more goal will completely finish things off for the Hawks. They might just get it, and they do! Kavara again! He's got his 3rd of the afternoon. And that will officially kill off the contest. $23 points the margin. Kavara with 3 on the afternoon. It's been a good game of footy all round, but the Hawks are going to get the win. So that will pretty much seal things for the Hawks. He'll be inside the top 8 tonight with games to come, of course, in round 10 of the Smithies VFL. An important win for them. Brinker Ritchie doing some great work out of the ruck. Fogel trying to take the mark, couldn't do so, but Fiorini has got some run. We'll send it back inside 50. Sarong will go wide. How's this ball going to pitch? It's going to pitch in front of Hollands, who needs to wheel around and put it straight back inside 50. Long ball. Oh, juggling mark. Excellent. Chris Burgess. Chance at number 5. And you can see the clock, can see that there's not going to be much time left, so he needs to get going. Oh, and he's missed. Margin 22 points in favour of the Hawks. They're led by 13 at three-quarter time. Mercedes goes long. Oh, big fly by Walton. Couldn't take it, couldn't bring it down. Still got the numbers here, the Hawks. As this ball has been kept in by Kavara. Nope. We'll have it tossed in. Right near the interchange gates. So, the Hawks come away with it. Outside the boot job by Cunico. A wide open 50, as you can see, for the Hawks. Here comes Kavara, round 1, round 2. Puts the ball inside. Plenty of numbers here. One of them is Hollands for Suns. Now they've got some run on the outside. Urgency the key for the Suns, but they also need to be clean as they go up the line. And they're not going to be. Inside 50 the ball goes. Porter will mop up for Box Hill. Mercedes will find Saunders. Disposal number 24 for Damien Mercedes tonight. Parsons looking for the 50. Two goals, 3 in this quarter for the Gold Coast Suns. 4 goals straight for Box Hill. McLennan tapped on nicely by Bose to Fiorini. Will they find someone on the lead? Nope. Another turnover, but this could be dangerous because McPherson swoops onto it. 2-1 in favour of the Hawks. Oh, they've got to be careful though. Hardigan has time. Mercedes will settle things down. They have all the time in the world and just go short. And they can just do this with short kicks and just wind time down. Here's Kavara. There's the rain falling. Well, we had a beautiful afternoon, but the wet weather coming in did say there might be a shower. Well, we've got it in this final term. As Warple will take the free kick. No, he won't. We'll go all the way back to Walton. Kavara works it back to Mercedes. So almost done here at Metricon. Big win for the Box Hill Hawks this afternoon. Rini is... They just haven't been able to find the targets as often as they would have liked today, the Suns, particularly in the second half. Walton's kick finds Green, and that'll be it. So a good win for the Box Hill Hawks, an entertaining contest this one. And they get it done 17-9, 111 to 13-11, 89. So the margin in the end, 22 points in favour of Box Hill. They led by 13 at three-quarter time. They led by 1 point at quarter time. The Suns by 2 at half-time, 13 to the Hawks at three-quarter time, and then running out 22-point winners. For the Hawks today, well, plenty of multiples. Fergus Green had 4 goals all in the first half. Jackson Callow, 4 goals as well. 3 goals to Ben Cavara and 2 to Connor Downey, and singles to Saunders, Hall, Gray and Parsons. And for the Gold Coast Suns, 4 goals for Chris Burgess and Alex Sexton, 2 goals to Braden Fiorini and Sam Flanders, and a single to Marlon Corbett. So a good win for the Box Hill Hawks, as I mentioned, putting themselves into the top 8 at the end of the Saturday matches for round number 10 in the Smithies VFL competition. They're in there on percentage, but the Cats would need to get a win to jump inside above them. So an important win for the Box Hill Hawks. 39 disposals for Braden Fiorini today. Jack Bowes with 30 and Darcy McPherson with 27 for the Suns, and Damien Mercedes leading the way with 26 for the Box Hill Hawks, 23 for James Parsons. In terms of the team stats, well, the hit-outs 36 to 21 in favour of the Suns. They had more clearances too, 46 to 28. In terms of the tackle count, 43 to 36 in favour of the Suns this afternoon. And inside 50s, dead even in the end, 56 apiece. Heavy rain now coming down at Metricon Stadium, but that won't affect the Box Hill Hawks, because they've got the win here by 22 points over the Gold Coast Suns. Big day coming up tomorrow to finish off round number 10. We've got 6 games to complete the round, starting off with Essendon taking on the Coburg Lions. But from here at Metricon Stadium, I'm Peter Mercado. Thanks so much for your company, and we leave you with the news that Box Hill have won against the Gold Coast Suns by 22 points.